Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Chuckload of Comics Show, broadcasting from our new studio.
Woohoo!
Here in beautiful north side of Chicago. It's like the Joe Rogan experience here in Chuckload. It's the Chuck Lindsay experience. It's a new studio. We're still working out the kinks. It still feels a little dark, so this is our first episode in the new studio. So expect a lot of changes here on the look of the new Chuckload of Comics show, guys. We have got so much nerd news to break down for you guys. Chuckload of Comics, by the way, if you've never been to the channel before, we basically are your source for nerd news, comic book talk, movie reviews, everything that happened in the world of fandom over the past 7 days. We break it down for you in about a 20 to 30 minute show every single Sunday right here on YouTube. So be sure to check it out every single Sunday. We got a massive crop of nerd news this week, guys. Baltimore Comic-Con is going to be the newest comic book convention. Recently announced they are going virtual this year, so we're going to break down all the news, all the cool stuff coming from the world of Baltimore Comic-Con. Get excited. Wonder Woman 1984 has moved to Christmas Day. Like the fourth move they've done for Wonder Woman. What does this mean for the Doom movie that's going head-to-head with it in Christmas? We're going to break down everything we know about the new Wonder Woman movie. The new Mandalorian Season 2 photo. Sorry, I had a little frog in my throat, though. This week from Entertainment Weekly. At the time of this taping, we have not seen a trailer for Mandalorian. Maybe we will by the time we finish this taping, but we got some new photos. We're going to break down sort of what ones kind of blew our hair back and which ones we thought were just kind of meh. So we're going to check those out in just a second. Eternals star Kumail Nanjiani left awestruck by the movie's magnitude. We're going to talk about all the new Eternals news that came out this week and what the star of the film is saying about the production. And finally, Raised by Wolves, the new show on HBO Max. If you haven't started watching Raised by Wolves, you absolutely have to. We're going to give you our review of the show. Probably one of the coolest shows on television right now. So we got a lot of stuff we're going to get into, guys. Just real quick, if, again, this is your first time to the Chuckload of Comics channel, take a second, click that subscribe button. Join us here every single Sunday for all the fun. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and break into this massive crop of nerd news. This is this week's Nerd News. Check it out. All right, guys, first big nerd news story of the week. Baltimore Comic-Con announced this week they are going to be the newest comic book convention to go virtual, to go online. Very exciting. If you guys have never been to Baltimore Comic-Con, we have. It's the number one comic book based event in the entire country.
Hands down.
Baltimore Comic-Con, it's the event that is most universally beloved by comic book creators. You know, when you think Comic-Con, you think San Diego. You may think of, New York Comic-Con and stuff, but those are very entertainment-centric.
Right.
Baltimore Comic-Con is a convention. They're celebrating their 20th anniversary
Woohoo!
in Baltimore, and it's very, very comic book-centric. And it's a very proud town, Baltimore. Yep. They are very proud, of their convention and of their fandom community. It's massive. We went last year, had such a blast at Baltimore Comic-Con. Well, they announced this week they're going virtual, and they are rolling out with some really, really cool stuff.
Pretty neat
that
stuff
a
here.
lot of other conventions haven't done. It's all going to be live. It's going to be 100% non-pre-recorded. All the live panels are going to feature the top names in the comic book industry. Where it's going to be going on is if you go to BaltimoreComicConLive.com. So there's BaltimoreComicCon.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's their standard website, but BaltimoreComicConLive.com is going to be where you get to experience the virtual experience.
That makes sense.
The website rolled out this week. They haven't announced any guests just yet.
Okay.
But they
right.
have promised in a press release that they're going to bring the absolute top names. I'm talking like Frank Miller level huge.
Oh my gosh.
Like every huge name in the industry
That's awesome.
is going to be coming to Baltimore Comic-Con. There's rumorings of a Kevin Smith kind of situation.
What?
Lots of stuff. There are going to be some ticketed fan events, which I think are kind of cool. They're doing like this group drink and draw where actual
that's going to be so cool.
viewers and participants, you can buy a ticket and actually sit in with all of the top names in the comic book industry to hang out and drink with them and sketch with them and stuff like that. And I've heard rumorings that if you buy a ticket to enter in and hang out in the drink and draw, you actually get to keep one of the sketches.
What?
That people like, Joel Jones and Jock and all these people, it's like going to be top tier.
That is so cool.
Comic book artists in this drink and draw. Tickets are going to be available for that in the coming weeks. That's going to be absolutely insane. Fan interactive game shows they're doing, where they're, like Stump Stevie Cebulski, that kind of thing.
So
like
cool.
game shows that fans can actually be on camera and be a part of with the industry professionals. They're doing an artist competitions where they're like pitting two artists together, where this one's really, really cool.
Okay.
Is what they're talking about doing is kind of opening up, kind of like when you go to like a like a Second City kind of thing, like an improv show where you shout out, hey, give me a profession, give me a thing.
Oh,
they'll
nice.
say like, all right, give us a comic book character, okay, give us a weapon, give us a sidekick,
I love
and then
that.
these two artists are going to go head to head and draw live. So it's going to be totally interactive with fans in the chat. Artists are going to be doing live commissions. You're going to be able to order commissions from the top artists.
This is so cool.
In the industry. It's going to be so cool. So you can actually meet these artists, tell them what you want, and then they'll mail your commission out to you. You actually get to meet them. But the really coolest thing is the Ringo Awards.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that sets Baltimore Comic-Con apart from the rest is their live Ringo Awards.
Yep.
It's one of the top awards you can get in the comic book industry. You got the Eisners and you got the Ringos. And this is going to be live. They're going to do the Ringo Awards. Everybody across the planet can watch the Ringo Awards live. They're still talking about who they're going to host it. So I don't want to spoil anything yet, but it's going to be hosted by some top names in the entertainment industry.
That is so cool.
But fans can actually get a chance to watch the Ringo Awards live as it's happening.
Oh my gosh.
It's all going to be so fan interactive. They got a whole kids corner where they're going to be doing sort of a whole panel room that's just for kids, where they're going to have artists do learn to draw, like doing like draw-alongs.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is how you draw Spider-Man. Kids, bust out your crayons.
That's so cool.
This is how you draw Spider-Man. This is how you do that. I know they're talking to Scotty Young, maybe coming out and showing kids how to draw stuff. There's a million things they're planning for Baltimore Comic-Con.
Man.
It's going on October 23rd to the 25th.
Too cool.
So it's happening after New York Comic-Con. It's going to be probably one of the last cons of the month.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm so excited about Baltimore Comic-Con
know.
online. So get more information as the weeks go along, the days go along. BaltimoreComicConLive.com.
And as I put up a few minutes ago, they're going to be con-exclusive merchandise and stuff, too. So there's going to be...
There's going to be, think about 200 exhibitors.
Wow.
Selling toys, collectibles, clothing, comic books, gold and silver, age, modern age, autographing. There's going to be so much going on at Baltimore Comic-Con. It's all live. They really wanted to recreate the Baltimore Comic-Con experience online. So it's going to be like nothing you've ever seen. Oh, and by the way, it's produced by the people at Mainframe Comic-Con.
What?
Mainframe Comic-Con is partnering with Baltimore Comic-Con to put on this event. So way more information coming soon right here on the Chuckload of Comics show. So if you need a reason to click the subscribe button, there you go.
That's
We're going
one
to
of 'em.
be doing breaking news about Baltimore Comic-Con in future episodes. So let us know in the comment section. Does this get you excited about Baltimore Comic-Con live online? Have you ever been to Baltimore Comic-Con? We'd love to hear about it. Let us know in the comments section. Next big nerd news story of the week: Wonder Woman 1984 makes its move yet again. This movie, I think, was supposed to come out in 1984.
Yeah, right?
Well, it's moved to Christmas.
Okay.
It was announced this week that they were thinking about maybe moving it for a number of reasons, which we'll get into in just a second. Well, it was announced this week they are making the move to Christmas Day. So Wonder Woman 2 is going to come out on December 25th.
Wow.
Questions, and we'll get to it in just a second. Like, what does this mean for the Dune movie? It was also supposed to come out in December, which is also a Warner Brothers movie. We'll get into the Dune stuff in just a second. But pretty much where this came from, it was, like I said, it was originally supposed to come out October 2nd. So we were mere weeks away from Wonder Woman, and then they obviously moved it to Christmas. Director Patty Jenkins, she said this week, it's kind of a long quote, said, "First and foremost, let me say how much Gal and I love all our devoted Wonder Woman fans around the world, and your excitement for Wonder Woman 84 couldn't make us happier or more eager for you to see the movie, because I know how important it is to bring this movie to you on a big screen when all of us can share the experience together. I'm hopeful you won't mind waiting just a little bit longer with the new date on Christmas Day. We can't wait to spend the holidays with you." Good point.
Aw, that is a good point.
Currently, theaters are closed in New York. They're closed in several cities around California. They're not open worldwide, and certainly people aren't flooding back to it.
Right, right.
So, Sean, does it make sense that they would move from October 2nd, which was like 3 weeks from now, and just saying, you know what, let's go ahead and just push it to December. There'll be more theaters open.
I think it totally makes sense. And then, I mean, holiday movies, people look forward to going to the movies on Christmas Day, and so I think they're just looking at the numbers that we saw with Tenet. Obviously, you can't really have a blockbuster movie come out during these times because they're just not making the money. It's not there, so the audience isn't there. So I think it makes sense. It sucks because I've been waiting to see this movie for a year now. I feel like all movies have turned into New Mutants at this point.
Like, we'll never see them.
We're just never going to see them, but it makes sense. What do you think?
I think it makes total sense, especially when you talk about Tenet, because Tenet just came out and didn't do so well at the box office for obvious reasons. It's not getting the best reviews from fans.
That's
Critics
true.
are really digging it, but they just didn't make a lot of money because theaters, the big theater cities aren't open yet.
Right.
Theaters are open at a very limited capacity.
Yep.
Best to just sit on Wonder Woman, and it feels like a good Christmas movie as well.
Yeah, of course. It's more family friendly, and
Exactly. It's a good movie to drag people back to the theater. People just aren't quite ready to go back to the theater yet.
I agree.
Even with the social distancing laws that are being put in place and the masks and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we went and saw New Mutants.
And it was great.
And AMC is doing it right. I mean, they've got hand sanitizer, wipes, everything everywhere. They've got the barricades up for concessions, everything.
I do recommend going back to the movie theater because they're doing it right. At least for AMC, our experience. So my big question was, because it just got announced this week, we got the first Dune full-length trailer.
Oh.
Dune was supposed to come out like 2 weeks before Christmas Day. Also a Warner Brothers property. So they haven't announced if they're going to move Dune.
Okay.
What do you think? Will Warner Brothers move Dune to give Wonder Woman a little more breathing space? Should they move it, or should they try to just own December? What are some of the argument? Okay, arguments can be made on either side.
Yeah,
I mean, arguments for keeping Dune in its place is that money for the studio.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers has had a shitty year. Every movie company has had a shitty year.
Right.
Let's make as much money in 2020 and going into 2022 or 2021 as we can.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, people go to the movies at Christmas time. There's a lot of room for multiple blockbuster films. I mean, going back to another Warner Brothers property, Aquaman came around Christmas time, back when theaters were open, and they still made over $1 billion, competing with all those other studios.
Sure.
So I mean, there's room for multiple blockbuster films.
Absolutely, and the fact that they're, like you were saying, they're both Warner Brothers properties. I don't think they'd be competing against themselves because Wonder Woman is more of a family movie. Dune, you're not going to take your kids to Dune on Christmas Day unless you're like, well, I don't know, maybe you will, but still, it's more of a family-friendly, kid-taken movie. And there's not a lot of movies coming out.
Yeah.
So if you got 2 movies that are blockbusters, you can have that movie playing in multiple theaters. I mean,
there's a few movies coming out still in December. We got the movie Free Guy, which is the Ryan Reynolds movie. That's scheduled for a December release. Coming to America 2 is still scheduled for a December release. West Side Story, Steven Spielberg's version of West Side Story. And of course, who can forget Escape Room 2?
Oh.
Also coming in
I didn't
December.
even know there was an Escape Room 2 coming.
None of these are big blockbusters. Like, none of these are $1 billion movies.
No.
Not a single one. Wonder Woman, almost guaranteed to be $1 billion movie. Sure. Dune could very well be.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there's arguments to be made on why you should keep it in place. There's also arguments in my mind of why you might want to move Dune.
Yeah.
If no other reason, it gives the studio more time to finish the movie, tweak the movie, and because they're still doing reshoots as we speak, and that trailer's already out. Or they're doing pickup shots and stuff like that, and also more time to promote the movie.
That's true.
Because this trailer dropped, the fan community went nuts. I don't think anybody's losing their mind. It was a cool trailer.
I thought the trailer was great.
It was a cool trailer, but I mean, it just gives you more time to promote it.
That's true.
Because let Warner Brothers promote the living shit out of Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. It just gives you more time to ramp up interest in the Dune movie as opposed to kind of competing with yourself. Also in 2021, there might be more theaters open. You might have more of an opportunity to get more eyeballs in the seat if you push Dune into February, March, April of 2021. And like you were saying before, you're not splitting your audience. Granted, Wonder Woman's a little more family friendly and Dune's a little bit more grown up and sci-fi. But if you're like me, and a lot of the people watching the show right now,
you
want to see both.
Yeah, that's true.
You are the audience for both
take the
films.
Kids to Dune.
Me, I'll go to the multiple movies a year, but you run the risk of splitting that audience just a little bit. If
that's
only
true.
because there's only so much pie to go around in December. Why
and
compete against yourself?
A very good possibility that come 2021 we'll have a vaccine for COVID, and then every theater's open and you can be full capacity. So.
So I don't know, man. Let us know in the comment section. What do you think? Should they move Dune and give Wonder Woman some breathing space and also give themselves more promotional time, or should they keep Dune where it is and just Warner Brothers owns Christmas? Definitely arguments to be had on both sides and more to be discussed in future episodes of Chuckletter Comics. So sound off in the comment section, guys. Let us know what you think. Next big nerd news story that dropped this week. The new Mandalorian Season 2 photos dropped.
Woohoo!
They were maybe a trailer by the time you're watching this video. I'm sure there will be. But at the time of this taping, we haven't gotten the trailer yet.
That's true.
So Entertainment Weekly dropped a bunch of new set photos today, and it teases a return to a very familiar Star Wars locale, which we'll get to in just a second. We just want to kind of take a second and rifle through some of these photos.
Sure.
Kind of tell you which ones, discuss a little bit, which ones blew our hair back, which ones we thought were just kind of meh.
Yeah.
The first one is sort of gangs all back together.
Right.
You got Carl Weathers, you got the Mandalorian, you got Gina Carano. Shauna, thoughts about this photo? Excitement level raised, lower, nothing?
It kind of just doesn't move my excitement needle level at all.
Well, it's because it doesn't look like it's from the show. It looks like it's
a staged, just a...
It's like a cover photo.
Right. And it's the same, not, I love all three of them and I love the cast, but it's the cast we've already seen.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know, it could have been a photo from last season.
Nothing in here from Ahsoka Tano or Boba Fett or anything like that, but we'll get into that in a sec. We got some solo character shots that look very much like the big gang shot. You know, Gina Carano. It's a cool shot. I don't know. I can't tell if her armor's been updated at all or if it's kind of the same thing. It does look.
Has, yeah.
Next one's Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Loving his. He definitely got a costume upgrade.
Yeah, right.
He's looking good. Looks like he might have put on a couple pounds, but hey.
Hey, so have I.
So who hasn't? He's got the COVID-15.
It's COVID-15,
yep. So those don't really blow my hair back. One that kind of does is this solo shot of Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're going to get a lot more of the Moff Gideon character in Season 2 of Mandalorian. I certainly hope so. I mean, the way that Season 1 left off, I mean, spoiler alert, when he busts out of the TIE fighter with Darksaber. I mean, there's a story to be told with that character.
Absolutely.
I think they're going to dive deep into Moff Gideon's character. So that one, of all those four, that's the first one that really kind of knocked my socks off.
Totally.
The next one is, Mandalorian with the child.
Yep.
Mando and Baby Yoda.
Gotta always get excited about Baby Yoda.
I guess. It's just, there's nothing really...
I know, there's...
The photo itself doesn't really blow my hair back.
Right.
It's just a guy in a Mandalorian suit holding a doll.
Right.
Is all it really is. It doesn't show you anything about...
He's not even holding it. It's like sitting next to him on a sack of potatoes.
I do kind of like the one of Mando on the speeder bike, even though I'd be more excited about this if we hadn't already seen the speeder bikes in Season 1. But it does raise my excitement level a little bit because it looks like they're back on Tatooine. And if you go to this next one where you got the Tusken Raider, a.k.a. the Sand People, riding the Bantha, that is clearly saying they're going back to Tatooine.
Right.
That's where the Tusken Raiders live. That's where the Banthas live. It's kind of cool to see them riding them. I think we did. I know we saw a Tusken Raider. I think we saw a Bantha in Season 1.
Yeah, briefly.
But I don't know. Did we see him riding one?
I don't know.
I don't know if we did. But I just like this shot because you get to see a front-on facial shot of the Bantha. Looks very adorable with his big lips. And the fact that they're returning to Tatooine, because this is where we're going to meet Boba Fett.
Yeah.
We know that Boba Fett's making a return, or we really think Boba Fett's making a return. I don't know if that's been official or not. I know that the actor who played Jango Fett is returning, and everybody thinks that's going to be Boba Fett.
Right.
Let us know in the comment section. I'm not sure if they said Boba Fett or not. They probably did. But very good likelihood that this is where we're going to see a flashback to Boba Fett coming out of the Sarlacc pit.
For sure.
Really good potential for a teaser segue into the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Yeah.
Because Obi-Wan spent a lot of time. Maybe Mando finds Obi-Wan's journal. Something. I mean, a lot of good tie-ins.
That's a good point.
If you're on Tatooine to tie into the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Very likely of that. We know Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah.
She probably goes back to Tatooine. That might be where we meet her.
That's the photo I wanted to see.
None of that.
Nothing. No new characters. No new. It's like
we got no new characters in any of these photos except for a really cool Bantha sand person shot.
That's kind of disappointing to me, but I'm still stoked for the season. I want to see that trailer.
Very stoked. It comes out in just at the end of October 30th, I think.
Awesome.
So by the time we're done taping this show,
there'll probably be a trailer.
It's probably already a trailer. And this is going to be a completely moot point, but we had to talk about it because, hey, it dropped this week, and that's what we do on Chuckletter Comics.
Exactly.
What do you guys think? Did any of these photos blow your hair back? If so, which ones? We'd love to hear. in the comments section. Next big nerd news story of the week. We haven't talked about the movie Eternals in quite a bit, but this week, Eternals star Kumail Nanjiani said he was left awestruck by the movie's magnitude. We know Eternals has been moved. Excuse me, I got a belch. Eternals has to be moved to 2021. Right. It still currently has a 2021 release date, but there's been no new news, which surprises me. Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't seen any sort of more teasers and stuff to kind of get people excited, because the excitement level really for the entire MCU has fallen pretty stagnant right now.
No kidding.
We know we're probably going to still get Black Widow, but no one's talking about Eternals. Nobody's talking about, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. No one's even talking about the Disney Plus shows right now.
No, I honestly, and this sounds terrible, but I honestly forgot about Eternals because I haven't heard about it.
Which sucks, because I was really excited about it.
I know, but I think that's probably why.
That's why you watch Chuckload of Comics.
Exactly.
Kumail Nanjiani said a few things on Twitter this week. He said, first, I know there isn't much news yet. We all know that. He said, I'm in the dark too. Trust me, I can't wait for it. Whenever it comes. So clearly everybody's in the dark. Even the stars of the film are in the dark. I know they're still doing some pickup shots, or they just ramped up their final post-production on the film.
Okay.
Post-COVID, because I'm pretty sure they're shooting overseas where production's starting to open back up. Awesome. He went on to say that, but I promise, the movie will be worth the wait. It's the most exciting, fun, epic, thrilling, hilarious, and moving project I've ever been a part of. And it's massive. The scale of it is unlike anything I've ever seen. I would walk on to shoot and be awestruck by the sets every single day. Very funny that Kumail Nanjiani says most hilarious project he's ever been a part of.
Right? That's hard
Silicon
to believe.
Valley, Big Sick.
Yeah.
I highly doubt this is the most hilarious project he's ever been a part of.
Yeah.
But fun, exciting, epic, thrilling, moving. Pretty exciting words from the star of the film.
Do you think he got a little poke from Marvel to
say something,
to say these things, just to bring it back out into the public?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because he just kind of took to Twitter and said, hey, we haven't heard anything. Nobody's heard anything. Even the stars haven't heard anything. But I promise you, it does get me excited when he talks about being awestruck by the sets.
Yeah.
So a lot of practical set stuff going on that we can get excited about. It's not all going to be green screen CGI or shot in the volume like they do on The Mandalorian. So big, awesome sets. That's pretty exciting. Last thing he said, he talked about the director, Chloe Zhao. He said, working with Chloe, obviously talking about Chloe Zhao, the director, has been one of the most thrilling and satisfying experiences of my career. I'm excited to see her films for decades to come and grateful I get to be a small part of one of them. A visionary director and a true filmmaker. So obviously the star of the film is going to say how great the director was.
That's true.
But these days, you never know. These days, sometimes, stars talk mad shit about their directors.
True. I mean, we all saw what happened with Solo, or what was it called?
Solo?
Solo, yeah. I mean, the directors got fired for that one.
Yeah, and then Cyborg came out and talked about how much he didn't like working with Joss Whedon when he came in and did the reshoots for Justice League. So nice to see he's very excited.
Yeah.
Chloe Zhao, as you know, is a very sort of up and comer. Mm-hmm. This is definitely her biggest project of her entire career, and so big career with more Chloe Zhao movies. So I mean, obviously, put this under the heading of star of movies says go see my movie. That goes without saying.
Right.
But any Eternals news is good Eternals news in my mind. Just glad to, like you said, no one's talking about it, so it's good to have that conversation about Eternals again. Because, hey, there's no Eternals talk. I'm dying to see a trailer for this movie.
Well, I think he also wants to talk about the movie because of this body transformation he went through for it.
We can never stop talking about the body transformation.
It's crazy. But of course he's going to pump himself up and pump the movie up. But anyway.
Interesting side note, though. I have heard rumorings that Marvel's going to do something similar to what the DC fandom did, where they're going to do a big online thing. It probably will be closer to Christmas time, maybe closer around when Black Widow comes out.
Awesome.
So they haven't made any official announcement yet. But working with Mainframe and working with Baltimore Comic-Con, I've heard rumorings that Marvel's going to do something big.
It only makes sense.
And that's when we're going to see our Eternals trailer.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very excited about that. So, guys, let us know in the comments section, what do you think about Kumail Nanjiani's statements, and how excited are you for the new Eternals movie? Final nerd news story of the week. Very, very, very excited to be back on the show and talk about this show. If you guys haven't watched Raised by Wolves
oh my gosh,
on HBO Max, holy shit, what are you waiting for? It's Thursday nights on HBO Max. This is one of the coolest shows on television.
Hands down.
It's been out, we're just doing this review because, I know it's been out for a few weeks. We're not trying to break news.
Yeah.
But if you're watching this and you haven't watched the show yet, this is just a glowing review of this show, Raised by Wolves. It's like Prometheus meets Enemy Mine meets The Martian meets like Lost in Space. It's crazy.
It's just unbelievable. And honestly, like, I hadn't heard anything about it until I heard Kevin Smith talking about it on Fat Man Beyond. It was like, I've never even heard of this show, and it's like classic 70s, early 80s kind of sci-fi, but with a 21st century budget and 21st century directors, because it really has that sort of android kind of 70s sci-fi vibe, lost on a planet. It feels very much like Enemy Mine. But oh my god, the budget, the production value, and the directors they got to do. So what's it about? We're going to get into the plot a little bit more in just a second. So, after Earth is rendered uninhabitable, androids start a settlement and a new family with human embryos on the planet Kepler 22b. So that's pretty much what it is. Androids left Earth with a briefcase full of embryos to start up the new human race on another planet. That's essentially what it is, but it is so much more. You can't talk about the show and not talk about the creators and the directors. Right.
The show, I'm going to butcher all these names pretty much, but the show creator is Aaron Guzikowski, who I don't have a photo of, but he was the writer of that movie Prisoners, that Denis Villeneuve.
Such a great movie.
Great movie.
Very underrated. Like, I don't know why.
One of Denis Villeneuve's first major talked about, Industry kind of films. Killer movie. He was also the writer of that reboot of Papillon, which I never saw. Okay. But I love the original Papillon. But anyway, the fact that he was one of the writers on Prisoners is pretty cool. So he is the creator of the show. But what really sets the show apart are the directors that they hired to do it. We talked about Prometheus. We talked about The Martian. Ridley Scott, the great Ridley Scott, directed, I believe, the first 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah. Definitely the first 2, maybe the first 3.
It's got such a Ridley Scott feel. It's not even funny. It feels like Prometheus meets Enemy Mine, but in the best possible way. And if you didn't like Prometheus, doesn't matter. You're still going to absolutely love this. Some of the other directors that they got on board to direct other episodes is Luke Scott, who is the son of Ridley Scott.
Really?
Second unit director. This guy is pretty much all of Ridley Scott's movies. Luke Scott was the second unit director on pretty much all of Ridley Scott's Prometheus and all that stuff. So he knows his shit. He's been directing, so now he gets to direct some television. He's going to bring his A game. Next director, this one's crazy. Another second unit director is Sergio Mimica Gazgiza. Fucking butchering that name.
Good try, Chuck. I have no idea how to pronounce that.
Well, he was the second unit director on Schindler's List.
What?
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh my god.
Minority Report. This guy knows how to make sci-fi movies. He knows how to make big budget shit like Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan. Are you kidding me? He's like Steven Spielberg's second unit director.
Wow, man. And this is incredible.
Final, James Hawes, Hawes, Hawes. He was a writer and director on Penny Dreadful, Black Mirror, The Mist, Doctor Who.
This is unbelievable.
Awesome crop of characters, directors, to make this incredible show. Shauna, let's dive a little bit into the plot of the show. I'm going to let you talk a little bit about the show. I gave you the general consensus. Expand. Expunge, exfoliate.
I think exfoliate. I'll exfoliate the show. As you said, it's these androids that are sent off to restart the human race because humans are going extinct, mostly due to almost like this 14th century religious holy wars. Like, you have the group, the atheists, and then you have the Catholics, and they're called different things than that, obviously.
Because we've all seen movies where people leave Earth because Earth is going extinct because of disease or because of X, Y, Z.
This is not because of disease.
Humans are killing themselves off due to their holy wars. Their belief in, my God's got a bigger dick than your God. Yeah. And they've wiped themselves off the planet. So these androids who are taking these human embryos to raise them as atheists.
Yeah, and
saying,
the reason...
look, we're taking all the religion out of your heads, and we're starting fresh with no religion. Continue.
And the reason why androids were sent with the embryos is because humans couldn't survive that journey. They knew it was going to take possibly hundreds, thousands of years to find a planet to be able to survive on. So they had these androids take these embryos, and then when they land
frozen
and
babies.
Find their planet that they're going to try to restart civilization on, it's crazy. They just birth these babies and raise them as it's really.
So it's a mother-father kind of scenario between these two androids. We do have some pictures I want to show you. I don't know if Shauna's already ruffled to them, but you got
I got a couple.
This mother-father thing at the very beginning of the show. It's very much very loving. You know, you really feel that these two androids are really, really great. As the show progresses, you find that the mother character is very dangerous and not to be messed with. She's a formidable, defensive mother.
Yeah.
If you will.
And she, you can definitely tell that she's got like emotions, and she's starting to get attached to these children.
Big time.
As she calls it, their mission, since their mission is to, restart civilization.
Restart human civilization as atheists, essentially. Yeah. One of the big surprises of the show was Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yeah.
If you guys watch, I wish I wrote down his actual name.
I know, Vikings.
But if you watch Vikings, he plays Ragnar. He is a pivotal character in the first few episodes of the show. Love Ragnar. All you Vikings fans out there wondering if Ragnar's going to get more work, he does. And he's a total badass in this show.
He's great. He's definitely going to have more screen time coming up. We've only seen the first 2 episodes, but
so by the time you get into episode 2, you find out that these humans did a whole what they call the Ark. These Jesuit, these very religious group.
Yeah.
One of the Holy War fighters. They built an Ark. They went off into space.
They call the Ark is called Heaven.
It's called Heaven. It's very, very religious undertones on this thing. Even when like the android is flying around, she puts herself in this very crucifix kind of look. When she goes to kill people,
there.
she puts herself in this Christ pose and goes off and fucks people up. Really, really religious based. But something I noticed the other day as I was watching it, and you guys have probably already turned off the show, but we're just chatting, is while the android they're always talking about atheism. We believe in nothing. We want to raise people to believe in nothing. It's funny if you watch it because they still hold very strongly to the teachings of their creator. They always talk about their creator.
That's interesting.
And how we're being told we have to do this because of our creator. So they're not really atheists. They believe strongly in what their creator told them to do is what they need to do.
That's
so they have their own sort of religion and God based on their own creator.
Yeah.
And that they will murder people because of that's what the creator told them they were supposed to do. So really they're just as religious as everybody else.
Huh. I didn't even think of it that way.
Yeah, man.
You're totally right.
You know? So
that's
interesting.
Deep, Chuck.
I know,
that's
very
really deep.
Very, very deep.
You think you nailed it there. You just opened my eyes
right?
a little bit. Yeah, totally.
So.
That's crazy, but man,
so guys,
one great thing though too is that the first episode is free on YouTube.
Yes,
you don't have to have.
That's
HBO
how we
Max.
found it.
Yeah,
we were flipping through YouTube, and you can watch the first 1 hour episode totally for free on YouTube.
Yeah.
On the
trust
HBO
me,
Max
if you
YouTube
do,
channel.
you'll be hooked.
I'm loving HBO Max, by the way.
I know, me too. I think the platform's great. It's great to finally have a streaming service that has high quality HBO level shows. I think it's amazing.
Yep. So, guys, let us know in the comment section. Have you started Raised by Wolves? If you haven't, I cannot recommend it enough. Best thing on television. It's got a Game of Thrones budget with a very Ridley Scott Prometheus vibe to it. Phenomenal show. Must check it out if you like sci-fi, if you like religious shit, if you like space, whatever. Check it out. I think you're really going to like it. So, guys, that's our entire show. Let us know what you thought of the show in the comments section. Thanks a lot for watching Chuckload of Comics this week. Here from our new set.
That's right.
The new Chuckload of Comics set, guys. So we'll be back next Sunday with more nerd news, more movie reviews, comic talk. Very little comic talk this week, but that's okay. And just basically all the things that happened in the world of fandom over the past 7 days, we break it down for you every single Sunday right here on YouTube. So thanks for watching. We'll see you here next Sunday. Have a fantastic week.
Bye-bye.